sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. The Fact Today. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on The Fact Today. Only on ATN.
Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. From Sierra Leone, former President Koroma charged with treason. From Lebanon, 9 Hezbollah fighters killed by Israeli strikes, militants say. From Pakistan, courts indict former Prime Minister Imran Khan for contempt. From Ukraine, authorities exchange hundreds of prisoners with Russia. From United States, Washington joins ally to warn Houthis rebel. From Australia, a man dies waiting for paramedics over 10 hours after call. Former President Ernest Bai Koroma has been charged with treason for his alleged involvement in a failed coup attempt in November, Sierra Leone's government said Wednesday. Koroma has also been charged with misprision of treason, which is the crime for concealing knowledge of treasonable acts, according to a statement from the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. On November 26, dozens of gunmen launched an attack in the West African nation's capital of Freetown, during which they broke into Sierra Leone's key armory and into a prison where the majority of the more than 2,000 inmates were freed. At least 18 members of the security forces were killed during the clashes. More than 50 suspects, including military officers, have been arrested so far. The charges against Koroma were announced a day after a dozen people were charged with similar offenses in connection with the failed coup. Although he has officially retired from politics, Koroma remains an influential figure within his political party and often hosts prominent politicians in his hometown of Makeni. There have been political tensions in Sierra Leone since President Julius Maada Bio was re-elected for a second term in a disputed vote in June. 2 months after he was re-elected, police said they arrested several people, including senior military officers, for allegedly planning to use protests to undermine peace. A Ugandan military helicopter being used in the fight against Islamic extremists in neighboring Congo crashed into a Ugandan house on Tuesday, killing both crew members and a civilian in the building, Uganda's military said. The cause of the attack helicopter's crash in the western district of Ntoroko, near the border, is suspected to be bad weather, said Brig Felix Kulayigye, spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. In a statement, Kulayigye said the helicopter was flying to Congo, where Uganda's military is fighting the Allied Democratic Forces, an extremist group allied to the Islamic State organization. The crew died heroes as they participated in the struggle to pacify our western frontier of the dreadful ADF, he said. Several Ugandan military helicopters have crashed in recent years, with the military often blaming bad weather. In September 2022, 2 military helicopters being used to fight the ADF crashed in eastern Congo, killing 22 Ugandan soldiers. The ADF has been accused of launching deadly attacks in Uganda targeting civilians. In recent years, it has also targeted civilians in remote parts of eastern Congo. It rarely claims responsibility. In 2021, Uganda launched air and artillery strikes in Congo against the group. In June 2023, suspected ADF rebels attacked a school in a remote area of Uganda near the Congo border, killing at least 41 people in a nighttime raid before fleeing across the porous frontier, authorities said. 38 students were among the victims. The ADF has long opposed the rule of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, a U.S. security ally who has held power in this East African country since 1986. A Ugandan military assault later forced the ADF back into eastern Congo, where many rebel groups are able to operate because the central government has limited control there. A well-known gay rights activist Onyango said that residents found Kabuye after the attack and that the activist was in critical condition. One of the 2 attackers who arrived on a motorcycle tried to stab Kabuye in the neck, Onyango said. He managed to shield his neck with his right arm, resulting in a stab wound to his hand. Despite attempting to flee, the assailants chased and stabbed him in the stomach and rockets, which the group has rarely fired during the current conflict. The escalation came to account Lebanese national interest. But if the Israelis launch a war on Lebanon, the group is ready for a fight without limits. They will regret it, he said. It will be very, very, very costly. Nasrallah praised Aruri as well as Hamas' October 7 attack, saying it brought light back into the Palestinian cause after it was nearly forgotten. He said Israel has so far failed in all its objectives in the Gaza war and was suffering damage to its international reputation. The United Nations and its humanitarian partners have been unable to deliver urgently needed aid to northern Gaza for 3 days due to conflict and delays and denial of access. UN Associate spokesperson Florencia Soto-Nino told reporters Wednesday that the halts to deliveries north of Wadi Gaza included medicines that would have provided vital support to more than 100,000 people for 30 days, as well as 8 trucks of food for people who currently face catastrophic and life-threatening food insecurity. Elsewhere, she said UN officials from the Humanitarian Office and World Health Organization on Tuesday witnessed extensive damage at the Al-Amal Hospital in Khan Yunis, which was reportedly struck, killing 5 people, including a 5-day-old baby. Sotonino, who said WHO officials reported that many of the 14,000 civilians sheltering at the hospital have now left and those remaining are terrified and planning to relocate. The UN Humanitarian Office has warned that Gaza is a public health disaster in the making, and recent mass displacement across southern Gaza is fueling disease outbreaks, she said. Since Hamas' October 7 surprise attacks, more than 400,000 cases of infectious diseases have been reported, Sotonino said, including some 180,000 people with upper respiratory infections and over 136,000 cases of diarrhea, half among children under 5. Israel's military says it has destroyed tunnels laid out beneath Gaza's largest hospital, which forces raided late last year, prompting an international outcry. The military says the operation to demolish the tunnels has not caused harm to Gaza's Shifa hospital itself. It said the tunnels are 250 meters long. Video released by the military showed several explosions going off between buildings. The media could not independently verify the video. Israel raided the hospital in November, saying Hamas uses it as a command and control center without providing evidence to directly prove that claim. Israel has discovered what it says is an underground bunker accessible by a narrow tunnel and videos appearing to show Hamas militants dragging hostages through the hospital's hallways. The military's announcement Wednesday Hamas was killed in a failed rescue attempt in Gaza. The hostage, 25-year-old Sahar Baruch, has been that Israeli forces killed him in a raid. The military said Wednesday it was not possible to determine whether Baruch died from Israeli fire or from Hamas in the rescue mission, which took place early in December. The announcement about Baruch comes weeks after Israel said its forces accidentally killed 3 hostages